Parfait. Alors, bonsoir, merci d'être venu. Vous l'avez peut-être vu, c'est le premier meetup depuis un petit moment, depuis je crois même 3 ans. Hein. Moi je suis content de vous accueillir tous aujourd'hui. Et puis on va commencer rapidement. Vraiment faites attention à ce qu'on va dire Maxime et moi, parce qu'il y a un quiz à la fin, et les 3 meilleurs vont gagner des crédits AWS, offerts par AWS. D'accord ? Donc il faudra sortir votre smartphone à un moment donné, votre téléphone, et puis se connecter sur Kahoot, où je vous montrerai le moment venu. Et
est-ce que tout le monde parle français, tout le monde comprend?
T'as raison de demander, on sait jamais.
C'est bon?
I'm sorry, but I don't know French.
Oh, okay, no problem. We can do it in English. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So I was saying, like it's mentioned, we're delighted to have you here, pay attention to what we will talk about, because at the end we'll have a quiz, and the winners will have AWS credits. So we will show you at the moment how you connect and how you play. But that's it. So first, a big thanks to Abbeal, who is hosting us today. I will give a few minutes to Justin to talk and tell us about Abbeal, and then we'll begin.
So thank you everyone for coming. My name is Justine. I'm a developer advocate at Abbeal, and basically we're a consulting company. We have web developers, mobile developers, and DevOps. But we try to be kind of a community and try to organize events and be part of all the meetups and conferences and stuff like that. So.
Thanks. So a big thank to Abbeal, and today we'll have a quick recap. I don't know, because there's a lot of material of the 2022 reInvent that happened during December. So maybe you can introduce yourself.
So who wants to reInvent here? No one?
No one?
Okay. So before jumping into the content, just a quick update. The original deck that AWS shared with us is about 200 slides. So obviously today it's going to be a very shrinked summary.
Definitely.
So if you have any question, feel free to ask. And if you're really interested in the recap, feel free to check the full slide. It's going to be just a quick overview today.
We will send it on the Meetup website, and you can have it probably tomorrow or something like that, with the whole slides, not just the shrink version.
So my name is Maxime, but everyone calls me Max. I am the serverless team at Datadog. Datadog is a monitoring company, cloud monitoring, cloud security. We are hiring, by the way. I do serverless, so obviously today we are going to talk a bit about serverless. I'm also a member of AWS Community Builder. I don't know if you have heard of this community, but it's a great way to learn and share everything related to AWS. You have access to betas, you have access to free credits, the swag, which is always great. I'm also a new YouTuber. I started like 6 months ago. I already have 500 subscribers, so I'm definitely in the YouTube game. Here's my personal website. Thanks, Mohamed, for your time today. And
thank you to have accepted to talk with me today. So I'm Mohamed Bouchnafa. I'm an AWS solution architect. I work for Abbeal, like Justin and some of the people that are here today. And I just took up the organization of the Meetup. Sorry, what happened? Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
C'est bon. C'est bon?
C'est bon? So just took the organization of the meetup in the beginning of the year, and we'll see how it will go during this year. We'll try to have of course other meetups, maybe a meetup each month, and we'll talk about this later in the end of the meetup. Let's maybe start So like we said, reInvent is the big conference, the world conference of AWS that happened at Las Vegas. Yeah, you can see that 2,000 technical sessions during this event, 50,000 attendees, which is a lot. I've been there in 2019, yeah, 19. It was very awesome, but very overwhelming with a lot of content. So yeah, things like these recaps are good to absorb some of the announcements. Today we'll have a little bit of builder experience, like something like 2 or 3 announcements around that, on serverless, on DevOps, on IML, data analytics, compute storage, networking, and security and compliance. And let's start with the builder experience. One of the first and one of the biggest announcements was about Code Catalyst. Don't know if you heard of it or not. It's kind of a new, it's a unified way to manage your projects and your code and your CI/CD and so on. It's like what the GitLab is doing with its platform. It's really similar to it, but really dedicated to AWS, where you can manage your issues and so on, manage your code, your CI/CD, your environments, and it's in preview. So if you want to access to it, you can probably. I think it's on the Ohio region only for now. But yeah, maybe it's something you should see, because really integrated to the AWS ecosystem, and probably something interesting for yes, small companies and so on that don't have the capacity to have Jira or things like that.
Just a quick note. Please pay attention to this little square here. On each slide, you will see preview, GA for globally available or coming soon. So this one is the preview, but
yeah. Indeed, you're right. The second announcement on the builder experience or section is the Code Whisper. Don't know if you heard about it. It's something that uses IAML to generate codes for you using the comments that you have on your code. So, for example, you write a comment saying that I want this function to access to my S3 to get the objects from my S3, and this Code Whisper will write the function for you. It's kind of ChatGPT. And I'm not really sure that this will stick with all the ChatGPT and so on. We'll see. But it worked great. I tried it. The only issue that I had is with this thing, the integration with the IAM Identity Center. Don't know if you know it. It's a kind of way to manage all your identities for your company on AWS using SSO or something like that. And for some reasons, I don't know why, Code Whisper works only if your IAM identity is on US East, one in North Virginia. So if you have your IAM identity on Ireland, like I have for the company I work for, yeah, it doesn't work. So, but yeah, it's still on preview, so we'll see afterwards how it goes. I don't know if you want to have questions between each.
it's up to you.
Yeah. Don't know if you have questions maybe before we go to the next section. Yeah.
I have a question about the previous slide.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I was wondering if they provide also like a Visual Studio Code instance online, just as GitHub Codespace or something like that.
I'm not aware of that. I think there is kind of integration with VS Code. So, yeah. Probably if it doesn't exist, maybe it will have an integration with Cloud9, which is their IDE. Yeah, but yeah, not sure that you have an instance directly in it. You have your code, like your Git repository, your CI/CD, and so on. But
yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Ça va pas le faire. Enjoy.
About the second slide,
Yeah.
does the Code Whisperer only works for AWS services, or you could ask it to write?
No. It works for any of these languages. So if you want a Java function or something like that for a specific purpose, it will write it for you. Yeah. But of course, it's something built on ML and AI, so it's still limited on what it can do. Yeah, sure.
So what's the difference between like Copilot or like Amazon Copilot?
I don't know Copilot. I can't answer to this. But
I'm using Copilot
yeah,
a lot or bits, I don't know. I'm recording, so no, I'm not. Basically, the concurrence, so it's two different implementation of code auto-completion, I would say. So it's.
Do you see any difference? What would you recommend?
I've never used Code Whisperer, to be honest. I'm using Copilot, which I find it great. But yeah, I can't really tell because I'm not sure. Yeah.
Is it only the client side, or we send the data to the server?
No. You, in fact, you'll have on your IDE some integration, and you can call it from your IDE directly. You don't need to go to a website or something like that.
But for our code, is sent to the server to analyze and
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because when you do your integration, you'll give your AWS access key and so on to connect to it, and of course it will ask AWS directly. It's not the compute is not done on your laptop.
Plus, it's not free, so.
Yeah. I don't know about the pricing. I don't know how much is it.
Maybe since it's preview, actually, maybe it's free. I'm not sure, but definitely they would need a mean to check whether or not you're paying for that.
Yeah, sure.
They said something about the versions of those languages that they support. Like I think was today TypeScript has a new version. So when the Code Whisperer will be using like the new version of TypeScript, which version they do support in those languages?
That's a good question. I don't know. We can check it later if you want, but I don't know.
I was just imagining if they announced something also with like.
Yeah, they probably announced something. I think we could check on the documentation, but yeah, you probably will find the version of each languages that it can support. Of course, yeah. No other questions? Good. Let's go to serverless.
So who is using serverless in production? Oh wow, nice. This is obviously my favorite topic. So AWS Lambda is one of the most used AWS services with more than 10 trillion invocation per month. This is unbelievable. It's a lot, really. So yeah, AWS launched more than a bit less than 10 years ago. Still working great. And one big announcement was Lambda Snapstart. So who is using Lambda Snapstart? Okay, so obviously during Lambda invocation, you have the cold start. And cold start is when your Lambda function is not working and you need something to wake it up. So this is called cold start. And for runtime such as Rust or C or C++, the cold start is very small. But for Java, one of the major complaints over the year was it takes time to boot because you have to warm up a Java virtual machine, and it takes time. So what is Snapstart? It's basically recording the state of your VM and taking a snapshot of that. So next time you will invoke your Lambda function, it will restore this snapshot, and it will boot like way faster, like almost 10 times faster. So this is available for Java 11 runtime. Of course, there is no Snapstart for non-JVM runtime for now, but it does not cost anything. So it's built into Java 11. You don't have to modify your existing code, and it's GA. So if you're using Java over cold start, over Lambda, there is no reason why you should not enable that. It's a great feature.
Is there anyone using Java with Lambda? Because I didn't see it a lot in the.
Yeah, usually it's because it takes time to boot, but with that new feature, I think it's gonna change maybe. Any question on Lambda or serverless in general? I skipped it. Oh, and what is that? Oh yeah. So this is step function. Who is using step function? Cool. So step function is basically like orchestrator of different Lambda function, and this distributed map, it's very useful. It supports concurrency for over 10,000 of executions. Sometimes it's a bit hard to visualize how Lambda function is working in a step orchestrator. So this is a great tool to do that. And now DevOps.
Already. Okay. Yeah, we've selected this blueprint deployment for AWS because I really think that's something interesting. It will help you if you have your staging RDS and your production RDS to move from one to another really quickly and without risk. It's really simple to use, but for now it's limited to MySQL and MariaDB only. So no Postgres, for example. Really interesting if, for example, you're upgrading to a new version. You want to test it first on your staging. You're sure that's okay, and when it's okay, you switch to production in a matter of a few seconds, few minutes. That's something also interesting. Amazon CloudWatch Internet Monitor, it will help you quickly diagnose any issue on the internet. For example, if you're using an external API and you're targeting something maybe abroad, an API that is I don't know, in Europe or something like that, and you don't know while the performance of your calls are dropping, this can help you to see if what's happening and so on. And really interesting. Another feature on CloudWatch is the logs data protection that use ML to protect sensitive data. So it will obfuscate some data that could be on your logs. I don't know if in here in Canada maybe your NAS. You should have some NAS on your logs, something like that, and it will obfuscate that for you. Very interesting. And I would say normally you should have this kind of data on your logs to begin with, but if you have this, could help you protect it. And then IML. Maybe I will just stay here.
So first big announcement is Amazon SageMaker, a new governance tool. So who is using SageMaker? Cool. So SageMaker is basically a tool to build your machine learning models, and there weren't no really place to see all of your models, and it's a brand new dashboard. It's GA. And you can see like the model quality, data quality, different endpoints, last modification time, and so very useful. It seems like a small feature, but it's actually very useful. About SageMaker, there is a new role manager. So when you create new models, of course you need to set permission. And before this, it was kind of complicated to assign different IAM permission, different permission, and different roles to your user. So this tool is now simplifying this task. So you're defining a role, a set of permission, and now you have a user group where you can access or not your different models. So very useful. And last about AI and machine learning, it's TextTrack. So TextTrack, it's not new. So it's basically an API which can read images, PDF, and almost every kind of documents where there's text inside. So for instance, you have a PDF, you can invoke Amazon TextTrack, and it will do like OCR recognition and other kind of very cool stuff. So the new feature is there is a new lending API, for instance, for a mortgage application, when you can read information from payslip, identify documents and bank statements, and then thanks to this great API, you can now extract data and make a decision whether or not the loan should be approved or not. So it's GA, so it's really convenient. And data, any question about that? Cool.
So data analytics. Do you know OpenSearch? Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, OpenSearch is like the Elasticsearch flavor of AWS. They are now working on it, and in the past they had this OpenSearch, managed OpenSearch, where you need to create your you need to decide which size of compute you want to have, and so on. Yeah, it's okay, but you still need to have that and to pay for the running time of these nodes. Now they launched this serverless, which is the same thing, but you just have to create your domain and not create the nodes, and you'll pay for only the usage of the calls that you had for this, and of course for the data that you'll store on it. I've tried it. It's interesting, and it's really useful when you're developing, because you don't have to create an open source stack from the ground. But there's only one catch that I found about this. It's that there is no integration with Grafana for now. So, for example, we had to go back to the other open source because we need Grafana. But yeah, probably they will have it in a few months. But yeah, great features for OpenSearch. AWS Lake Formation data sharing access. Customers are increasingly using this the sharing of data between companies, between teams, and so on. And this will help you. This feature will help you when you're using Lake Formation to give access granularly and in an efficient way. There's a question? No? Okay. Thought there was a question. And without having any scripting or so on to manage this. Really, yeah, I think it helps a lot of people with the governance of your lake formation. And something interesting also is the fact that now the DocumentDB service, which is it's not a MongoDB. It's just a DB that is compatible with MongoDB. So if you are on MongoDB, you can easily migrate to DocumentDB, and if you're on DocumentDB, easily migrate to MongoDB. But in the end, is it not that easy?
No, it's not easy.
Yeah, okay. That's how they sell it. I don't know about them.
Yeah, I know it's compatible, but all layers proposed by MongoDB.
Yeah.
Okay, are not supported by AWS.
Ah, okay.
Perhaps for the version 4 of the
Yeah.
protocol,
Yeah.
MongoDB, but for the version 3, it's not totally compatible.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Can you talk a bit more about what are the big differences? What is not compatible, or?
Okay, so, and MongoDB has two main components. So you have the storage, and you have the protocol to be used by the clients to interact with the server. Okay, and so this protocol is made of 5 member terms or something like that. But the implementation made by AWS, okay, for MongoDB, okay, is restrictive in terms of supported verbose terms.
Okay.
Okay, so it's used, it works for a lot of basic implementation. But if you have some complex queries with a lot of integration, trying to or something like that, so it doesn't work.
Okay, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, thanks. So we shouldn't take for granted what AWS is saying. That's what you're telling us. Okay.
I faced with this kind of issue, and so we decided to move out from MongoDB or DynamoDB or DocumentDB to DynamoDB.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in fact, DocumentDB was already existing in what they had this year is the fact that you can have a cluster of that and not just only one managed instance. That's it. It's helped in terms of availabilities and durability and so on. And then, compute. If there is any question. No? Okay.
So one of the biggest announcements of reInvent is the introduction of Nitro v5. So Nitro is a hardware component which allows EC2 to run. So who are using EC2? Yeah. So and Nitro is like the chip under how EC2 is working, and v5 comes with a lot of performance improvements. So 2 times, I won't read it, but it's basically really fast now. It's the 5th generation. So some details. 60% higher PPS, 30% lower latency. So basically they take what has already been existing and put that to another level. So by the way, they developed Nitro for over a decade, so it's definitely not new. But this year they bring this to quite some huge performance improvements. So this is for Nitro. And one other nice thing about compute is EC2 torn write prevention. So basically, you are on an EC2 instance, and you want to read or write data to RDS. Previously, you were forced to do some transaction or make sure that if there is a network issue, you won't end up with a very strange state where your data has not been persisted. With torn write prevention, this is done for you, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not sure about how this is working, but I guess there is a temporary state split from your EC2 instance, which save in which state you are, and so you don't have to take care about that yourself. AWS is taking care of that for you. So EC2 torn write prevention. I think that's it for compute.
Yeah, good. So let's talk about what they announced for storage. Okay. One of the announcements that we selected is the fact that now you can have elastic throughput on EFS, which is interesting to pay on as you go basis and not define that you'll have. And something interesting is the new lifecycle, which you can now have a policy on for the first day and not wait for, which at the minimum was a week. So interesting to have this new configuration that for your EFS, and of course improvement of performances. Very interesting to have these improvements. Something also interesting, there's this Amazon Scalable Reliable Datagram, which is a network transport protocol that they created to avoid overload on and have lower latency for your EBS. It will come soon during this year, and it will be applied to any IO EBS volume that we'll have, with 90% of improvement on the write latency. So probably something huge that will happen in the few months. We'll see if they will it will really work like they're saying. But the catch here is that it's IO volumes. They are not cheap, and they cost a lot of money. And if you don't use it well, you'll end up with a big bill in the end of the month. But for certain use cases, it's interesting to have this kind of latency.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Will it be for IO2 Block Express as well, or just?
No, I don't think so. I think it's for EBS, but that's what they said.
So if I'm running IO2 on a Metal instance, a dedicated host, it automatically AWS claims it will change it as a Block Express?
I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So this feature is for any IO2 basically?
Yes.
As long as I'm using it?
Yeah, for IO2, yeah, as long as you're on EBS, yeah. But it's not yet available. It will come in a few months.
Okay, thanks.
So that's it for storage. Then there's networking. Okay, they featured this new service that help people, or maybe companies that don't have the expertise on how you create your VPCs and so on, help you create connectivity between your services, and have some good observability on your network. I think that it's something interesting for small companies, for example, that don't have the manpower or the capacity or the expertise to create the VPC from the ground up and doing it well. Didn't yet experience it, so don't have a lot of feedbacks to give you for now. Don't know if someone tried it or not. No? Okay. But we'll see. Something probably interesting. They say, the main benefit is developer productivity, because developers are not, how would say, don't have the expertise around this domain. It's really for network engineers and so on. So when you create something from the ground up and don't have the expertise, this will help you to go fast with your network on AWS. And enhance security, optimize compute choice, and so on. Yeah. Different type of use cases that you can use Amazon VPC Lattice for. Secure your cross-VPC connectivity, granular secure access to service, and like I said, traffic management. Another thing interesting with they launched this year is the verified access. Let's say you have an application, an internal application that you're deploying on AWS, and if you want to give access to your people, if it's internal, you'll have to have VPN or something like that to give them access. But VPN is kind of something not really interesting to do. There's a lot of overhead with creating tickets to open things and so on. Not really interesting, and something that small companies can't do. So they create this verified access to give trust to some providers, and then you can associate your application with those providers and give access to people easily without VPN. But with having the kind of security that you want for your application. Like I said, in terms of benefits, better security posture, improve user experience, and simplify operation, because you don't have to create this kind of VPC, create an access for everyone, and so and deal with all the issues that you have when you have this kind of yeah, nothing interesting here. Other enhancement on networking. I don't know if you already use the VPC reachability analyzer. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, when you create a VPC, there is a lot of different resources that create tables, net gateway, and so on, and you never know where. Before creating, before having this feature, you will never know where the problem is. It's really complicated to detect where the problem is. This reachability analyzer will help you. You will give him your source and your target, and it will tell you where the problem is. And of course, then afterwards you can help yourself and do the math and create the right resource or do the right configuration. Now with this analyzer can do cross account traces. So it's quite interesting if you're a multi-account.
Because usually this is where the bug is.
Yeah.
That's inside your own account, but when you're doing cross accounts.
Yeah. Definitely. And then on the network manager, which is also something that isn't that old in terms of services, introduce real-time performance monitoring for AWS Global Network. Didn't try it, don't know how it works. Okay, don't know if there is any question for network or storage. Yeah.
So previous slide.
Previous slide?
Yes. Is it a kind of restricted SSO?
What?
Is it a kind of restricted SSO, single sign-on, just for the application host on AWS?
I don't think so. It's really just in terms of connectivity and just create trusting some kind of provider and trusting your users to access to your applications. Maybe you will use Identity Center to log your users, of course. I've seen this, but it's kind of a dependency of that. Yeah.
Can it be replacement of Okta?
Good question. I don't know.
I'm not sure because Okta is more than authentication also. So.
But yeah, I think he's saying about if you can replace Identity Center. I don't know what's the name of the new Identity Center, which is the new name of SSO, IMSSO, something like that, with Okta. But I don't know.
I guess it will require a lot of configuration, and role mapping, and.
When I give a look to this service, I've seen that you need to have your Identity Center, but don't know if you can change it with Okta or something else. Okay. If there's no other questions, we can jump to security.
This is the last section, by the way, so hold tight. It's
yeah, we're good. We're good on time.
Yeah. It's a lot of content, so it's a recap. So yeah. So yeah, first is Amazon verified permission. This is a great tool. Let's say you have a front-end application and you want to have fine-grained restriction access. Instead of building that by yourself, you can use this verified permission. So it's fully integrated with API gateway. So it's literally like a token management system, like with a nice UI and nice API on top of it. It's still in preview, but it's really useful if you want to have like fine-grained control on your application. Works on client side and server side as well. Any question? Next is Amazon Security Lake. It's basically one central place where your data flows and check for a security issue. So yeah, it's normalizer, analyzer. So yeah, it's like one central point where your data flows in and flows out, and one single point when you can check for security breach or security sensitive information inside that. Then we have AWS organization delegation. So basically, in your AWS account, you have like one root account, and then like all other kind of accounts. But now you have one more kind of account, which is dedicated admin. So it's a new set of rules, which allows to have like another layer of security, or in between full administrator and the regular account. So yeah, that's I've not tried it, but I guess it has some use case. And finally, not finally, almost finally.
Yeah, almost.
Almost finally. Amazon Macy automated data discovery. It's basically scanning your S3 bucket, looking for sensitive data. So that's super useful because, yeah, as Mohamed said before, you should not put sensitive data in S3, but sometimes it happens, and you want to be notified about that. So this tool is great to analyze that. And finally, Amazon Inspector for LAMP. Oh. It's confusing because I'm not seeing the same. Yeah, so CloudTrail. So CloudTrail, I don't know if you use it, but it's basically a history of whatever happens in your AWS account. You can filter, create some rules, and now you can have a CloudTrail lake configuration, and you can import some filtering or some retention policy into that lake, into CloudTrail. So yeah, very useful for auditing or for permission checking and so on. So that's a great improvement, and it's already GA. And now finally, before the quiz, this is Amazon Inspector for Lambda function. So basically it's listen for events in your running Lambda function and detects potential threats, such as, I don't know, SQL injection or DDoS or other kind of security issue. It's not cheap, but it could be useful if you have like a very sensitive application. It detects like classical threats by inspecting network and payloads. So it's good addition to existing firewall and other kind of preventive blockers and solutions. So I think that's it for the recap.
Yeah.
I believe it or not, but it's a very shrinked version of what has been announced to AWS reInvent. So yeah, it was hard to find about what we want to talk about and what would be the most interesting. I hope you liked it. I really encourage you to at least read once or very fast the bigger deck. And yeah, if you have any question or on specific services, it might be hard to answer, but we can try. But yeah, the deck is really well done. You have the slide, and in the comment section, you have like a full description of what kind of new feature does it add, what's the price, when it will be available, in which region. So
and links to see the documentation.
Yeah,
and so on.
there's some blog posts, some sample codes. Sometimes it's obviously hard to cover everything, but yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah. Sure.
When the Calgary region is going live? They announced anything for the Calgary region?
I'm not sure they announced it at reInvent, but we can chat, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
2023?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Well, if there is no question, it's...
There's a few things
yeah.
to talk about. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, we are just relaunching the meetup and so on, so we'll need your help, of course. But first, let's say that the next meetup will be around the 55th of April, to be confirmed. not sure. I'm still talking with the speaker to be sure that he's available at this date. It will be virtually because he's in Boston and he can't come. And normally it will be around Alexa emotionality, something. And yeah, we'll see if that's confirmed or not, and I will organize it soon. For May, still date to be defined. Don't know where, don't know when, don't know with who, don't know with what the subject. So if you have any suggestions, really open, because we need speakers, we need other hosts. Abbeal will host us from time to time, but if we want to have one each month, maybe we need other hosts, other sponsors. So if your company is okay to sponsor or to host or something like that, just contact me and we'll talk with the right guys on your company and so on, and try to do it. And yeah, for now I'm alone in terms of organization. So if anyone of you want to help, really open to have co-organizers with me. And of course, if you want to have more of these meetups, yeah, we need to be a team because.
And he's a nice guy.
I try to be. Yeah. Again, thank you, Abbeal, because yeah, I wouldn't have done it without you. So thanks.